Hi and welcome to Pet Pals. Every week we showcase animals that are looking for forever homes and second chances at the Frederick County Division of Animal Control and Pet Adoption Center. I'm Linda Shea. With me today is Randy Cooper. And the first dog we're going to take a look at is Draco. Draco is about 8 months old. You can see he's got a lot of energy, a lot of enthusiasm for life. Draco was an owner relinquished. The people that turned him in because they stated they didn't have enough time to train him. He is listed as an Australian cattle dog pit bull mix. The joy of working in a shelter and working with shelter dogs is that sometimes those breed specifications are more obvious than others, and with Draco, to me they're not very obvious, but that's what we have on record. He is again about 8 months old. He's very responsive to people. He's about 47 pounds, so he's going to get a little bit bigger. He's going to probably fill out, maybe get a little bit taller, but not much tall. I can't imagine him topping off at more than maybe 55, 60 pounds. He is very good with people. He is, we've done a meet and greet with him with another dog. He's done great with that. And a lot of folks ask this question of any of our dogs on the adoption floor, would they make a good first-time dog? If you've never had a dog before in your adult life, Draco would be a great choice. He is motivated, he's interested, very people-centered, but again, enthusiastic and active. So in his training, probably a good initial workout would be to play fetch, to play frisbee, to kind of work out that energy so that he can focus on learning good manners. But as you can see, he enjoys being scratched, he enjoys sitting, and enjoys that attention. So if you're looking for a great dog, again, only about 8 months old, and if you're concerned about what kind of dog would I need if I've never had a dog before, he would actually be a great choice. This little guy, if you can't tell by automatically, he is absolutely adorable. This is Memphis. Memphis came to us as a stray, and one of the common questions we ask ourselves when we see animals like this is, why isn't anybody looking for him, and why don't they notice that he's missing? But came to us from Jefferson on August the 10th. He had been found on a Saturday afternoon in Jefferson. So if you're looking for your missing dog, if you have a neighbor that might be looking for their missing dog, definitely send them to the shelter. We have so many animals here that come to us. About half of our intake population are stray animals. And again, we look at a dog like Memphis and we think, why isn't your owner looking for you? But we named him Memphis. We do name our strays, so his name is probably something very different. We have him down as a Basset pit bull mix. If you look at his forelegs, they've got that Basset outward turn to them, and then his face definitely has either pit bull, maybe black lab. There's a combination of several dogs in there. So he's about 10 to 12 months, which means that he will be going through the puppy process for adoption. So many people want puppies. They think they want puppies until they actually have a puppy. Draco is a good example of that. The dog we just looked at, 8 months old, the folks got him as a gift and were unable to provide the time needed. So same thing with Memphis at 10 to 12 months. He's going to need a lot of time and effort by his adopted family to make sure that he continues in the trend of having good manners, good canine citizenship, being polite, not jumping on people, and certainly not biting. So he's definitely another one of those dogs that if you're looking for a first-time dog, he would be a good choice. He's responsive, he's gentle. He is a little on the thin side. When animals come in, we do offer them, we provide a medical exam. So he did have some parasites, and I believe that's probably the predominant reason of why he's so thin, but we've taken care of that. He's only about 28 pounds now, so at this time he should be somewhere around 30, 32 pounds at least. At 10 to 12 months old, he's not going to get much bigger. He might fill out a little bit more, but prior to leaving here, he will be microchipped, he will be neutered, and he will have all the vaccines on board that he needs. So again, if you're looking for just a sweet, gentle dog, Memphis would be a great choice. So this little guy is Tupac. He came to us on August 1st. He's only about a year old, and his family was moving, could not take him along, so that's why he's here with us. He's about 22 pounds. He's a combination of a pug and a Pomeranian. So he's got both of those breeds pretty evident in his appearance. Just about a year old. He was initially acquired by his family from a friend, and then when they moved, they did not take him along. We're recommending for Tupac an adult home only, older kids. He's very shy, he's very cautious. When you approach his kennel, he does not necessarily, we use the term, he doesn't show well. He is very protective, he does the barking, growling, this is my territory kind of behavior, but as you can see out of the cage, he's a very different dog. One of the things that I believe makes our shelter very progressive in that Tupac came in with a little bit of a history. He was a bite case, but we've assessed him, and we know that animals have teeth and claws, and depending on the circumstance, they can use those teeth and claws and end up as a bite case. So that's his background. So we are recommending him for older children, adult home only, just because little kids are little kids, and they're going to act like if you've got a 2-year-old, 3-year-old in your house, you know exactly what I'm talking about. They just have this enthusiasm for life, and a lot of times an over-enthusiasm with pets. So we don't want anybody to maybe scare the dog or have a bad experience. So again, we have that restriction on Tupac that he'll need to go to an adult home, older children, preferably an experienced home. But as you can see, he's a wonderful dog. In the right hands, he'll make a wonderful pet, and he's small. That's another consideration. So many people come in and they want small dogs, and here you go. So again, this is Tupac. He is looking to be adopted. This cute little guy we named Paco. He's another dog that came to us as a stray. So again, if you're missing your dog, if you have a neighbor missing a dog, Paco is only about 1 to 2 years old. He was found by the CVS in Thurmont. So while folks know that our shelter is in the city of Frederick, we're the only shelter in Frederick County. And we have officers that go to all the different corners of the county. We have nice citizens that bring us animals that they have found running at large or stray in their neighborhoods from Thurmont, from Emmitsburg, from Mount Airy, Newmarket, Adamstown, again, anywhere in Frederick County. So it's not unreasonable if you've lost your dog in Thurmont that it would end up at the shelter in Frederick. But we've named him Paco. Came to us on August 8th. We hold animals for 5 days to allow their owners to come forward to claim them, but at this point his stray days have come and gone, so he's available for adoption. He's only about 13 pounds. We've already provided him with the preventative vaccines, deworming, flea and tick prevention that he needs. He's very affectionate. He does fall under the definitely that stereotype of an affectionate puppy. He likes to give kisses, he likes to be on your lap. If you are considering adopting a young dog, a puppy, you want to make sure that you establish what the rules are ahead of time in your home. While it's very endearing and we do let them get away with more at the shelter since we have them for just a short while, if you don't want a dog to be on your furniture, that's perfectly fine, and there are ways that you can discourage that behavior and just instill some manners so that that doesn't happen. But that's your call. And you can definitely have a dog like Paco and train him to not go on the furniture with humane and positive reinforcement, humane means and positive reinforcement. So again, this is Paco. He's a Chihuahua mix. If you're looking for a little dog, and don't be misled. He's affectionate, but he's very busy. He's very active, very social. So he's got a lot of redeeming factors. So again, this is little Paco. Came to us as a stray from Thurmont looking for a forever home. Before we go to our break, we're going to take a look at one of our cats. This is Gigi. Gigi is about 1 year old. She came to us back in June. She's only about 11 pounds. And the reason that she was turned in, she had actually been adopted from a rescue in Baltimore when she was a kitten. And that rescue worked with a lot of trap, neuter, and return programs, and had a program in place where they would ear tip the animals the cats that they spay or neuter. So if you notice, Gigi's left ear has the corner missing off the top of it, and that's called ear tipping. And for those of you who are not familiar, that signifies that that cat is at least altered, either spayed or neutered, and typically rabies vaccinated as well. Now, the challenge with maintaining an ear-tipped cat that's outdoors is you must make sure that at least every year or every 3 years, depending on the cat and the vaccine, that they get vaccinated for rabies, against rabies, so that that vaccine status is current. So Gigi is ear-tipped. Again, if you see a cat like this that's outdoors, typically they are spayed, they are neutered, and should be current on a rabies vaccine. But again, the challenge is when you've got a lot of cats that are ear-tipped in a population in one area, there needs to be a caretaker. That's part of the trap, neuter, and return process. You want to make sure that that there's a caretaker. You can't just leave animals outside to their own demise. But Gigi is very friendly, and the reason she's on our adoption floor is that she's adoptable. She's friendly, she's handleable. She did come to us already spayed, current on vaccines. She did develop an upper respiratory while she was here. We've treated her for that, and that is resolved. But again, sweet cat, so if you're looking for just a sweet cat, she's got a beautiful coat, she's very hardy, and she's only about 1 year old. Her adoption fee would be $97.50, and that covers anything that we've invested in her, including a SNAP test. She is negative for feline leukemia and feline immunodeficiency virus. So again, this is Gigi, and she is looking for her second adoptive home. We're going to go ahead and take a short break. Stay tuned. When we come back, we will take a look at some more of our cats and 2 of our gerbils that are here at the shelter.
So, I just moved in with this family, and it's embarrassing. The little one, he likes to go outside and crawl around in the giant litter box. I don't know what he's doing. I mean, I was born and I knew how to use the litter box. Look at that. That's disgusting. Oh, poop already. You're making me nervous. Oh, okay, I can't look at this anymore. I really hope he grows out of this, for his sake.
The Frederick County Health Department's On the Mark Adolescent Clubhouse and Sober Activity Center is a safe, community-based clubhouse which provides a starting point or continuing care link for peers supporting one another through the process of recovery. Membership is free and open to youth from ages 12 to 17 who are in treatment for substance abuse or are struggling in this area or who have completed a related program. The clubhouse offers fun and sober games, homework help, skills building, and many other activities. Located in the Health Department at 350 Montague Lane in Frederick, Maryland, the clubhouse is open Monday through Friday from 3:30 to 7 p.m. and Saturdays from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. To learn more, call 301-600-1126 or visit frederickcountymd.gov on the Mark. Please also like us on Facebook at On the Mark Clubhouse.
Do you know the top risk factors for breast cancer? Number 1, being a woman. Number 2, getting older. So, if you are a woman and 40 or older, you should be screened for breast cancer. Talk to your healthcare provider today about getting screened with a clinical breast exam and mammogram. Doing this regularly is important, as early detection can save lives. For more information, contact the Frederick County Health Department's Breast and Cervical Cancer Screening Program at 301-600-3362 or visit our website at frederickcountymd.gov/cancer prevention.
Transit services of Frederick County. With rising gas prices, transit is a less expensive way to work or school. Most commuter bus routes run every 30 minutes during weekday morning and afternoon rush hours. Bus stops are within a quarter mile of most businesses in downtown Frederick. Transit offers shuttles to Thurmont, Emmitsburg, Brunswick, Jefferson, Spring Ridge, and Route 85, or take a shuttle to the MARC train for an easy commute. Find out what nearly 1 million passengers already know. Transit connects people and places.
Welcome back to Pet Pals. Now we're going to take a look at some of our felines and a couple of our rodents. First up is Elena. Elena has been in the shelter since the middle part of June. For those of you that may not be familiar with Pet Pals or the shelter, we don't have a time limit on animals. Folks that turn in animals, whether they're owned or stray, always ask, how long do you keep them? Well, we keep animals here as long as we can. We keep them as long as they remain healthy, as long as they're behaviorally sound, temperamentally sound. If they get sick, we treat them. If they respond to treatment, we put them back on the adoption floor. So in the case of Elena, she's been here since June, came in to us as a stray from, looks like from Emmitsburg. So again, if you live in Emmitsburg and you've been missing a cat, it is possible that a citizen would have brought your cat here. Elena has coming into the shelter without any vaccine history that we're aware of. Sometimes cats have a tendency to develop an upper respiratory infection, so we make every effort to treat them with antibiotics, with supportive care, and to make sure that ultimately our goal is to place them back on the adoption floor. So Elena's about 2 to 3 years old. As you can see, she has resolved whatever upper respiratory issues she has. She's a beautiful Torby color, so she's got the basic background of a brown tabby, but if you look, she's got that orange splashed in there as well. So she would make a great pet prior to leaving here. We're going to go ahead and make sure that she gets spayed, microchipped, so in the event she gets away from her new adopters, we can return her as quickly as possible. This little girl is Chanel. Chanel has been with us for just about almost 2 months now. Came to us previously owned and turned in because, and this is not an unusual circumstance, usually I guess somebody was babysitting and then the babysitter decided to adopt the cat from that family. The family didn't want her anymore, so that's how Chanel ended up with her most recent owner and then was turned into us. So she's about 3 years old. She's your basic domestic short hair, classic black and white. She's just about 9.5 pounds and she's very long. So she's a good weight for her body structure. We've brought her up to speed on vaccines, including a rabies vaccine. We have snap tested her and she has tested negative for feline leukemia and feline immunodeficiency virus. For those of you who may not be familiar, when I reference snap testing, the test is actually for 2 viruses. We call it snap testing. That is the sound that the test makes when we mix the animal's sample of blood with the conjugate in the test itself. She has also, typical of a lot of cats in shelters, developed an upper respiratory infection at some point, and we've treated her. She has resolved that issue and is now available for adoption. But one of the things even if you have pets at home and you consider the fact that maybe they're indoor only, or even if you have dogs that are little and they stay indoors most of the time, that's not protecting them enough. While you may keep them inside, you never know when they might escape, when they might get outdoors. We have that with situation with rabies vaccines. Owners often question, why does my cat need a rabies vaccine if she stays indoors entirely? Well, your cat may not go outside, but bats do get into homes. There are those situations where cats do escape and get outside, and then if they are exposed to an animal that may be potentially carrying rabies, then you've jeopardized their safety. So you want to make sure that your animal is compliant with the law. In Maryland, dogs, cats, and ferrets 4 months of age must be rabies vaccinated appropriately, and you can get more information about that from your veterinarian. So this is Chanel, waiting for an adoptive family. Again, only about 3 years old. She has been in competition with some of those cute kittens on our adoption floor, so if you're looking for a young cat that's not quite kitten age, Chanel would be a great choice. This is Annie. Annie is about 8 years old. She came to us just about a week ago and she has settled in rather nicely. She came to us already spayed, already microchipped. She originated from a vet hospital in Georgia. Her family had adopted her from there 7 years ago. And then most recently, someone in the family developed allergies. So after having a wonderful life of 8 years in a family, Annie is now with us. But she is social, she's friendly, and you can probably tell if you're familiar with Pet Pals, if you're familiar with our shelter, she is color-coded blue. And the cats that are color-coded blue in the shelter are more inclined to be lap cats. They typically are older cats. They typically just appreciate and enjoy sitting on somebody's lap and kind of just enjoying being pet and brushed and being in close proximity to their people. Annie is also declawed on all 4 of her paws. We do not advocate declawing at all, but that's how she came to us. So if that's something that you are looking for, we do have people that are coming in looking for cats that are already declawed. She would be a good choice for that. And the reason we don't advocate declawing, you can look at studies. There are studies on both sides of the fence as far as whether declawing actually changes behavior in cats or not. From my perspective, they're born with those toes. The declawing process is actually an amputation of the end digit. It's not just filing down their toenails. So there's more to it, and if you need more information, certainly check with your veterinarian. But that's the reason we don't advocate it. But again, Annie is declawed on all 4s. She is very sweet, very friendly, and very much in need of a forever family. So if you're looking for a cat that might be a suitable lap cat, Annie would be a great choice for you. So as an open admission shelter, sometimes things get a little unconventional around here. We not only take in dogs and cats, but we take in any animal that needs us from within Frederick County, whether they're owned or stray. As long as they're from within county limits, they can come to our shelter if they need us, if their family doesn't want them any longer. We are open admission, so regardless of temperament, behavior, or even species, we do take in different types of animals. So these little guys, I've got Remy, and Randy has Ryder. They're 2 female gerbils. They arrived with 4 other gerbils, so at the moment our gerbil population is at 6. These 2 girls live together. Our preference is that if you are considering adopting rodents that come to us, if we house them together at the shelter, our preference is that they get adopted out together. They have been friends, they live nicely together, they tend to live longer if they have a friend with them. It maintains their social skills, especially if you've got a long day at work, if your kids have a long day at school, you have the gerbils kind of keeping each other company. So Remy and Ryder are what we consider a bonded pair and need to get adopted together. Gerbils typically are what I consider one of the more social in the whole collection of rodent choices. They tend to not be as nippy as other rodents can be. And these girls in particular, they're very friendly. They're fairly easy to handle. You don't necessarily have to chase them around the cage, but you do need to provide for them. So if you're thinking about adopting a gerbil as a pet, you want to be responsible. You want to make sure that you're housing them in something safe. If you have other pets in your home, you want to make sure, especially if they're predatory pets or exotic or interested pets that might be interested in gerbils, you want to make sure that the gerbils are in a housing unit, maybe an aquarium or some kind of cage setup where they'll be safe from those interested parties. You also want to make sure that you understand that gerbils need their cages cleaned on a regular basis, at least weekly, to do what we call here a full clean, but then you want to spot clean every day because gerbils use they empty out in their housing area. One of the reasons that gerbils and other small rodents end up with us is the unrealistic expectations that parents may have. So if your child is 3, they can certainly be taught to, with supervision, with your supervision as a parent, they can be taught to hold a gerbil safely. They cannot be expected to clean out the gerbil cage every week to the degree and satisfaction that you would want that done. So if you're adopting these guys and you have small children, you want to make sure, mom and dad, that you understand that you're going to be responsible for cleaning the cage, for going to the store to get the proper food, and for taking these guys to the vet if that is what's needed. But other than that, gerbils in general are very social. These in particular, all 6 of them, are very easy to handle. And if you have any other questions on gerbils, gerbil care, or you want to meet with these guys, certainly come into the shelter during the hours we're open. We're happy always to answer questions for you. But again, this is Remy and Ryder, and they are looking for a forever home. And that wraps it up for this week's Pet Pals. We are so glad that you could join us this week to view some of the animals that are looking for adoptive families. If you have any questions on anybody that you've seen today, you want to make sure you stop by the shelter. We're open from Monday through Saturday, different hours, Monday, Tuesday, and Friday from 10 to 5 are kennel hours, Wednesday and Thursday from 10 to 8, and then on Saturdays from 10 until 4. Have a great week, and we will see you next time on Pet Pals.